Hello, you're watching Avenue X, and today I want to talk about a period drama that has recently started airing, already aired past almost 2/3 of the way as I'm shooting the video, and that being 昭雪录 Coroner's Diary. This is a 38 episode period drama that's being aired on iQIYI exclusively. It's also produced by iQIYI, this platform. It is based on an existing web novel that was written back in 2019 by an author called 步月浅庄, and the title of the original story is 权宠之五座一妃, favored by power, a medical examiner doctor concubine. This type of title usually gets used for the purpose of letting the readers click in because they know exactly what they're going in for when they see that title. They definitely have to change it to a better sounding name. In this case, 昭雪录. 昭雪, written as these two characters, means to right wrongs. This drama is still called 昭雪, but they changed the first character. For whatever reason, I don't know. The drama itself is directed by Li Huizhu, who is a female Hong Kong director who actually has been in the industry for a long time. Previously, her best-known works were, let's say, about 10, 15, even longer years ago, such as 锦绣未央, such as 美人天下. That was before the web platforms took control of drama making. And if you look at the three credited adaptation writers taking the novel into script, they also have worked with this director before on those projects. So you could really say the making of this drama is an adaptation of that web novel and done by the team of this director and people she used to work with. In terms of casting, it is led by Ao Ruipeng and Li Landi, also featuring Yu Cheng'en and Shen Yujie. The shooting time was from April to September last year, just about a week ahead in terms of starting date and finishing date of A Dream Within the Dream, and those dramas also aired back to back. And I'm pretty sure during the shooting, the two crews are literally physically side by side. I've watched 24 episodes of the 38 episodes drama, enough for me to make a pretty comprehensive review on it, and I'm pretty sure the story is gonna happen in a very expected way till the end. And honestly, because I don't care about the story that much, so I don't worry about whether the ending crashes or not, because even if it doesn't crash, I still don't consider this being a very good drama. Before we go into the details, quickly tell you what the story is about. It is happening around our female lead character, played by Li Landi. She's the daughter of a very good official. Her father, equal to today's world, would be the lead of the Supreme Court. Pretty high level official and a master of case breaking. He's also a medical man, so he knows all the skills related to medical examination, and he writes a lot of books on that, and he's a beloved, let's say, good official who ended up in a political power struggle in the court and got wronged. Her whole family tried to escape the capital. Only her succeeded. Her parents and a good friend of her family died trying to protect her, and she escaped. She left the capital, surviving, tried to get back to the capital, investigating the death of her parents, and tried to right the wrongs. Along the way, she gets all kinds of super, let's say, lucky helps from very powerful people. And our male lead character, played by Ao Ruipeng, is a prince who basically is the nephew of the currently reigning emperor, and he's also a young general of a very powerful military that's stationed on the border. Her encounter with him is one of the most important things that basically allows her to do what she wants to do later in the story, and obviously there's this romantic attraction. Now let's go to the detail part about good and bad. Since I mostly really don't have that much of a good opinion about this drama, I would first tell you what is good about it. The one thing that I think nobody is at fault in this drama would be actually the performance of those actors. I wouldn't say anybody is outstandingly good. If you've seen them previously in other things, they wouldn't do something in this drama that suddenly makes you think, wow, they've improved so much. But also, what is he doing or what is she doing? It's not working. That doesn't happen either. It's very much up to your expectation if you've watched their previous work. And they fit the roles and the vibe of the drama quite well. So on the performance level, on the actors casting level, the choices of the people level, given the script they're given, I don't think anybody is actually not doing a proper job. It's good enough for this type of still idol period drama. And that's about it. Then, counting the points, we can start talking about what I don't like about this drama. Point number one, from the early days when they promoted it in trailers to the title, you can tell it's a detective drama with main characters through line. Classic setup. Yet when you actually watch the drama, you'll find it is unlike Imperial Coroner or Strange Tales of Tang Dynasty, where always the case breaking takes priority over, let's say, romantic storyline or the private sort of personal development line of our lead characters. The cases, when it needs to be dealt with in terms of its tight logic, its deduction process, its nice twists and turns of breaking the case, those things always come first. Through those, you dig out the main lead team's character, their personality, their consistent development line. During this promotional stage, at least this drama would give you the sense of it is another drama of such kind. But when you watch it, you'll find out it's reverse. It's actually just a romantic idol period drama that's being dressed up as a case-breaking drama. To me, that is just, first, not what I expect this drama to be. Second, if you are writing a case-breaking drama, you already lock yourself in this genre that you have to fulfill a level of expectation from the audiences, and the actual deductions and the logic game and the chase. If you don't actually make this part engaging, you might as well write another completely irrelevant to this genre romantic story if that's what you want to do. If you just want to do a romantic story, don't take a case-breaking structure and genre to do that, because you're basically making your own life difficult. Detective stories is a very difficult genre to write well. Reason being, you can never write a character who's more cleverer than you are. If the writer, the main creators, their IQ is not, they can't write characters who are, and for this type of story, you always need really, really quick, witty, smart people. Otherwise, how do you break cases? How do you outsmart very smart criminals? So that's like a really difficult genre to pick. If you are actually not talented at writing detective stories, yet you want to use a detective story to tell a romantic story, you are literally looking for trouble. And this is what I feel. As I start watching the drama, I very quickly realized it's not clever enough, it's not well written enough in the case-breaking world, yet it also tries to hard sell a lot of romance at the same time, and now this is definitely not going to be a good experience for me. The second big problem, specifically why, as a case-breaking drama, this is not very well written. As of now, you have, starting with the story, a case of a bride not having her head. Then it goes to the multiple bodies in a well case. On their way of traveling, they end up in a mansion where people die and they figure out why, and it's to do with medicine and whatever. And then it moves to, in capital, there are young girls who got murdered. Then you get into the court case where diplomatic visitors from other countries come into the court and then inconvenient shitty things happen. So far all the cases up to now, right? None of those cases is in any way I could consider well written. Let's say if cases can be ranked from A, B, C, D, E, F, and if you say A level would be first episode of second season of Sherlock, the Irene Adler case. If that's A, then this drama mostly is like barely scratching E. And often it's F, because if you stop and think, the logic actually doesn't work. The deduction process actually does not make sense. For example, earlier in the first case, when the bride doesn't have a head, every step of breaking that case is kind of not really making that much sense. But let's just pick one example. Our female lead, she first obviously would suggest, because there's no head, we cannot actually be sure the bride is the bride we think she is. She got to the point where looking at the body's hand, and she picked out, oh, she's got like callus buildup on finger this, finger that, which means she would be playing this instrument. And they do know that this lady plays this instrument in life. So she's like, oh, in this case, then this is very likely the right body of the bride we think. I don't think you can say that. The only thing you can say is, it is possible that this body is her body. But it's also possible that somebody else got killed, dressed in her clothing, put here. It just happens to be another woman of similar age and who also plays this instrument. You cannot say very likely even, because it doesn't increase the likelihood very much. It's just like, well, now we do know this body plays this instrument. And then we know the person we think this body is does play it. But it could equally be other people. It's almost like the female lead knows already. She's read the script. She knows who is who did what. She's highly inclining towards one direction already before even any solid evidence can be found. And this happens multiple times. A lot of cases where you can always just stop when she says a conclusion and rewind and then think and go, actually, you can't arrive at that conclusion because it doesn't work like that in deduction, yet it happens all the time. The fact that she says this person has calluses on these two fingers means she plays guqing, which happens to run into my guqing knowledge. I'm like, actually, It doesn't happen like that. If you play guqing, if you do have calluses on your left hand, it mostly is like on your ring finger tip and then on this knuckle of your thumb. And if you play a lot of certain tunes, you would also have a callus right here, which is on the outside of your first knuckle of the ring finger. So the ring finger and the thumb would be having calluses. The other fingers would not. Even though you do press with your middle finger on the string, for most tunes, they don't do that. Only a few tunes. And because of the nature of the tip always is just stronger than the side of your finger, therefore you actually don't need to build any callus on the tip of your middle finger. You don't get it. It doesn't hurt and it doesn't get used that much. Anyway, I'm just saying, even when she can tell she plays guqing with the callus on this person's finger, it's wrong. It should be ring finger, not middle finger. It's an easy thing to research. Just go and grab any people who play this instrument. They will tell you. Or just grab their hand. You'll see. And there's another point. The murderers, when they got found out, they're just so easily giving up on it. Like, they don't even fight. First case, they found a skull in his room, right? That's been burning in this winter heater of the ancient time. And also the skull, when they put the skull together, they can see a mark which is done by a sword, and they get this guy's sword and went through that skull, and they were like, therefore you're the killer. And this guy just admitted on the spot. First, this is not his residence. He's actually traveling. Think about it as a hotel room, although it's not hotel, it's more like the residence of the groom's place. He's been living there for a couple of days. They found a skull that's been burning inside of his furnace. If he's really the killer, but he wants to argue, he would say, I don't own this place. I am also a visitor. I'm a guest living here. Who knows who put that skull in there? It could be other people putting it in there and burning it there. I just never opened the lid. I don't know why there is a skull in it. In terms of why my sword can fit into it. First, there probably are many swords that's the same size that can fit into it. It's not like bullet, right? You don't have actually that level of magnification can say it's a perfect match. It could be any other sword that caused that mark in that skull. And even if it does get caused by my sword doesn't like get stick to me 24/7. I do go to bath, I do go peeing. People can steal my sword and do something and put it back without me noticing it. You cannot arrive at the conclusion 100% sure just because the skull is in that furnace that's in my room, just because it has mark of seemingly my sword, therefore I killed the person. If I were the killer, at least I would try to argue that. And it is true, you cannot arrive at the conclusion by those two pieces of evidence. You need other things. Anyway, but this guy just like gave up on it. It's like, yeah, I killed her, blah, 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 and start to very quickly wrap up the case and move on. A lot of this type of thing happens. And even like during the case of when they are traveling to the snow-covered mansion, that case just is so ridiculous. If you go and watch it, you'll know what I mean. It's by the end, it's so rushed and wrapped up. And a lot of things actually didn't get explained in terms of exactly what he's doing and then why he imprisoned somebody. And then what did they do to him that he can't speak and do any? They forgot about that part of the story. They just wrapped it up and never told you the ending of certain characters. It makes you feel they really want to get on with the romantic line and they can't be bothered to spend too much energy on the cases or the characters that the case is concerned. I watched it and I constantly just have that face. I can't hypnotize myself just because the lead couple looks cute, therefore it's all forgiven. You are ultimately a case-breaking drama and your cases are shitty. Then the third and probably the last point, but it actually takes in multiple points, but I would put them all in this one, which is this is a outdated story, everything considered. Even though it's shot last year, it is directed by a director. Based on what I've seen in those 24 episodes, I think she's very behind the time. In terms of what kind of storytelling would engage audiences, what kind of values characters should represent is in line with current thinking of the targeted demographics of audiences. Or let's put it in contrast to the drama that just finished, A Dream Within a Dream. A Dream Within a Dream is very, very now. It is written by people who knows exactly what are the struggles and interests of the young audiences who they're targeting towards. You can feel the energy of the main creatives of that drama is very much lined up with what is going on in the world and in, for example, Chinese entertainment business in 2020s right now. Whereas this drama feels like the people who are making it, they don't know what's going on in 2020s in the industry or in genres, in drama making. They're very much like 10, 15 years ago. And everything gets reflected in the story, and I'll pick pick out a couple of things to illustrate my point where I feel it's very outdated. For example, Pei Ping 文学, which A Dream Within a Dream rented in its last episode. You group people according to their positions in your story. Male lead marries female lead or loves female lead, and she, by this point, episode 24, has already been leveled up to a princess. And now he's a prince, so they're definitely a couple. And then her maid is matched up with his guard. This is called Pei Ping. This drama very unaware and naturally gave that from the beginning. As early as the first couple of moments when our female lead and male lead meet, already the maid and the guard of the female lead and male lead are eyeing each other and they're destined for each other. And you actually have no plot. They've gone through the challenge or the obstacles and they've lived for a while together. They've known each other now, so they start to find each other attractive and interesting. If you build that up, I would accept it because these people at least have shared experiences. Therefore, they build trust and interest in each other. Whereas in the story, the maid and the guard, nothing happened to in any way solidify or even to reflect each of their character to the other person to make them attractive to the other person, or at least you have a reason or base for something to happen. It's like, why do I find you interesting? Just because you look good? I'm like, this is so lazy and so not respecting supporting characters as humans. You're basically thinking of them as objects. If it's 20 years ago, I'd forgive you, but this is 2025. You can't write a story like that and making me go, I would just go with it. And a lot of things like that happens in the story. For example, our female lead has huge plot armor. First, she has super invincible armor when her parents and uncle got shot like a hedgehog, and then she is totally fine. She jumps into the water, the arrow just misses her. She survives being washed away by river. She faked her identity, successfully easily infiltrated into the Qin family, pretending to be a daughter of the Qin family. She conveniently walks on the street just running to the grand princess, suddenly getting sick, and she saved her life, and therefore she gets this special treatment by this very powerful princess. Therefore, the Qin family cannot not treat her well. And then she meets our male lead, who happens to be a nephew of the emperor, a prince. Himself is a really good general at fighting, so in terms of save me, you have the highest kung fu possible, that's sorted. Almost immediately has a good feeling towards her, and after 1 or 2 episodes start to become her fan because of her ability in medicine and in coroner skills, start to follow her anywhere and listen to whatever she says and agree with everything she says too, and then becoming a very, very loyal bodyguard. And then she would really please a princess, who is in the grand princess household, and they become good friends, and she is a master of kung fu, so now she's not only having a boyfriend who is super strong and high ranking, she's got a very super strong and high ranking girlfriend. And when she gets to the capital, guess what? She would be conveniently saving an older prince, basically a male lead's uncle, a generation prince who is the brother to the emperor. She would also conveniently save Empress Dowager, which is the mother of the emperor. And just because of those continuous opportunities, literally that got fed to her face, put in front of her, she, by episode 24, got a empress degree of basically ranking her as a princess. By the end of the drama, she might be the empress. I mean, by all means, our male lead could take the crown prince position. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised, and she will become, therefore, future ruler, wife of this kingdom. If that happens, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's gonna be, but I'm just saying, it is so convenient. Particularly the part where she saves the Empress Dowager. That is too much. If you say she's saving the grand princess, has some reason, because they're not in the capital, she's on the street, it's emergency, right? She shows up, okay. Now you're in court, there's a banquet, and then somebody comes in and reports, oh, Empress Dowager just had basically a stroke. The whole imperial doctor team is they don't know what to do, and they can't make her regain consciousness. And apparently the reason is just because those old doctors who are hired by the imperial house, they're very worried about if they do anything that is a little bit too daring, and if there's any consequences, and they can't take it. So they take a very conservative approach of dealing with Empress Dowager, therefore she doesn't wake up. Whereas our female lead character, she is young and she's brave. She doesn't care about her own safety because she's a saint, right? She cares more about whether I can save the patient. So she dare using very may cause other problems way of saving the Empress Dowager, and she basically bet, and then she won. She saved the Empress Dowager. It didn't have worse outcome, which could have happened. And those older doctors are just too worried about their own, I don't know, safety. They dare not do it. Like, that's how they reason it. But still, I'm like, that means like our female lead could actually fail and she could die on it. But because she's female lead, she's read the script, she knows she's not gonna die, and because she's so good, she doesn't care about her own safety, therefore she's better than everybody, therefore even when she's only 16, 17, 18, whatever, she's better than all those like 60, 80-year-old doctors who are all super experienced. I mean, how realistic is that? If you're 16, 17, 18-year-old, and you couldn't be studying medicine since you're 2, right? At least you need to be able to read before you study medicine. You may have about 12 years of studying time, let's say, of this. And how many patients could you possibly see as a little girl? So how can you ever make me believe a whole team of like old doctors, their whole life they've been looking at patients, they have less of experience than the 16-year-old? If she's a time traveler, if she's from contemporary time, if she uses things that ancient time doesn't have that save this person, okay, like I can reason away with that, but it's not the case in this drama. By the point today at episode 24, I think she becomes a princess. I think I've had enough. I'm like, she's got too much of a plot armor. Even Li Landi is adorable, she's pretty, and she doesn't have a problem in terms of playing the character as an actress. I do not believe the character on paper. This makes the story utterly, completely boring. It makes her struggle as a character meaningless because she actually doesn't need to struggle because cakes just fall from the sky in front of her. Why am I here to watch this? This is like such bad story writing. Who had the genius idea of setting up a female lead character like that? And our male lead character is also like impeccable. He's impeccable in every way. His morality, his intelligence, his capability of doing his job, his devotion to the female lead. You basically have a perfect female lead, a perfect male lead starting from the story minute 1. They are already in complete saint form. So the whole story has no arc actually. The two main characters, they don't develop at all. They don't have things that they actually have no control over, or they have no ability to do well over the arc of the story. They grow that ability, and our audiences have this sense of we go on the journey with them. We see them struggle, we see them fail, and then eventually win. Like, that's rewarding for us as viewers to see. Not two saints showed up dropping from heaven with their halo and the lights, and they light up the whole world for the 40 episodes. They just make sure they let you know that they are already complete. Like, okay, cool, goodbye. It's not a story. It's just an exhibition of perfection. It's like we default to something that already exists. We just take it and use it. We never think in 2020s whether this is actually a version that still works. Do we have to update it? Do we have to think again? Such as like in this story, every time female lead and male lead wants to kiss, somebody would walk in on them. It happened like 3 times before eventually they succeeded. If it happens once, okay, fine. Then the second time it happens, I'm like, and then the third time it happens again, I'm like, huh? Really? 2025, you're still doing that? Yeah, they eventually managed to kiss. But by the time they actually managed to lock lips, me as a viewer, I have already completely lost interest. Last thing in this whole big point would be the old-fashioned making of this drama also shows up in not having a great sense of how to use camera to tell the story. You can use Zhao Xuelu as an example compared to, say, A Dream Within a Dream to understand my point of the director of A Dream Within a Dream when I say he's not the best, but he's not the worst, because there are worse. And Zhao Xuelu would be the case of it's shooting people and they don't look bad, okay? But in terms of using the camera to cover the story, there's barely any very effective use of the camera. And it has a lot of framing that is very weird, and it makes you question why. Because you don't understand. Within any type of tradition of visual storytelling, that kind of framing should be doing certain things, but you clearly are not doing it, and we don't know why you're using it. Like tilt the frame, not level it up on main characters where there is actually no extra meaning your weird framing is giving to that moment. Usually when something is not leveled, when the frame is tilted, the person in the frame is not standing upright, it is used to suggest either this person is not an upright person, literally, they have hidden secrets, they may not be the good person you think they are, or it's used to, for example, in a conversation of tilting the frame of 2 persons to show there's this weird energy happening between them. Maybe there's suspicion, maybe there's doubt, maybe there's a dark undercurrent power struggle between them. Something icky is going on, you tilt the frame. This is very common. Yet in this drama, you have a lot of tilted frames in where literally nothing like that is happening, yet they tilt it a lot. And it looks confusing. Maybe this is not necessarily like they're not up to date, a little bit too outdated. It's almost like they are basically not being very good at your job. Oh, and one last point I'll complain about it is even when it doesn't concern any of the case stuff, it's still in an old-fashioned way, let's say, which is its writing of supporting roles is very, very much two person-like. Not only is like you're matching the maid and the guard together, the part of like domestic story of our female lead when she fakes to be the Qing family's daughter, peer rivalry between the sisters of the Qing family. Look at the fifth Qing girl, played by this rather pretty actress, how they write this character from the first moment she shows up and giving trouble to our female lead to even now. She's been basically drawn out as the straw man, the target to get all the hate arrows from audiences, because this is a female character supporting role who's not treated as a real person. Apparently, this person has no good thing about her at all. Everything about her is despicable, hateful, and she's the person who stirs up all the troubles. She's the person who gets other people into trouble, put other people in danger, other people who have to put their life to save her, and once she gets saved, she doesn't say thank you at all. She still hates you, and she still always shit talk about you. Like, this female supporting role is treated with such hate from the scriptwriter, and also she's being written as a complete moron. So she's not only stupid, she's bad. Such a clear discrimination from the writer's point of view against their characters. The good, the leads are the impeccably good, the saint-like, the female lead, the male lead, the female lead's best friend. They're like such good people. And then therefore all the evils and bad things will be taken by those supporting girls. And we put it in this domestic environment and we make this woman to shoulder all the hate from the audiences and for all the convenient plot to happen to our female lead. What is the difference between this type of action from the scriptwriter to the action in A Dream Within a Dream, where the story sets our male lead up as the bad guy? No matter what, right? All the wrong things happen is because of him. He's never gonna do anything right and everybody should just blame him. You're seeing Zhao Xuelu's writer literally making that supporting role who really doesn't have that much screen time, getting all the hate, not just from audiences, but actually almost from the writers too. Sorry, I can never agree with that type of attitude from a creator to their characters. I think that's also lazy writing, it's irresponsible writing, it's also very selfish writing, it's also very basically unskillful writing. Because you can't write a more complicated bad person, you can't write a more gray area of people, you can't make your lead in any way imperfect. If you do that, you panic, you think you failed. That means you actually don't understand what good writing is, and you certainly don't know how to create a good character. Anyway, all those signs in this story here and there that I can spot that keeps making me go, I've really done my best to stick through 24 episodes of this drama. Thank heavens the leads are actually not annoying, but in terms of the drama on the writing level and on production level, it is not a 2025 drama. I don't think this is the worst drama out there, but it's a very bland drama. It's a drama if you don't watch, you're not gonna miss anything, in my opinion. But I can't say for you because I do have a friend in real life who I would assume she would not like this type of drama because the logic doesn't work, because the cases are not exciting, because it has so many old-fashioned problems that so does not fit 2020s, yet she likes it very, very much. So maybe this drama has some extra magic that is working and giving it quite a bit traction right now, and I think it's doing pretty well on iQIYI that I don't get. And I would admit that is me. I don't know why, because I don't get, so I don't get, so I don't know why I don't get, right? The point is, I don't know why people think it's great, because I can't see the point. So that's my honest opinion. Maybe my opinion will not really translate to you fully, and maybe you also think this drama is great. That's totally fine. That's what I want to add at the end of this video on Zhao Xuelu, Coroner's Diary. It's gonna finish in about a week's time. Let's see eventually where they're gonna get. I mean, probably happily ever after, probably still a prince and a princess, and she will right the wrong against her father, and her father's name will get cleared. It's all gonna be great. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if she becomes the empress, but I don't think it's gonna go that route. It's gonna be way too stupid if they do that. That should be the end of this video. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.